Welcome back to On the Spot. And just like your favorite Saiyan, we're returning stronger than ever. Could we be more excited to have Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit back on the show? Possibly, but only because we'll be debuting the shape-shifting, Deceive or Destroy game known only as Prototype. We'll also get our hands dirty with Grid to show you why card damage is so fun. And we'll let off some steam with Wolf of the Battlefield, Commando 3. Seriously, this week's episode of On the Spot can power all of Texas for 3 weeks. It's science.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to On the Spot. I am Ryan McDonald, joined by Kevin Van Ord this week. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm great, Ryan. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. As you heard in the intro, we got a fantastic show. We got Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit in the house.
I did exciting stuff.
Yeah, totally. It's on the PlayStation 3 this time. And also, we got some Naruto business. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Of course, Prototype is here. And I don't know if you've seen that when they were showing us earlier. That game looks super hot.
Looks really
and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, but I'll throw the warning out there. There's some hand shoving through people in that game. So mature audience, you know, for that one. But yeah, then we got Worlds End With You. That's the new Square game that looks awesome.
Can't wait to take a look. Don's going to be here showing us that one.
That one scored really high.
Yes, it did. 9.0. That's a good RPG in my book.
And not only that, but you actually like fight using both screens and you like two characters at once.
Both screens, you got pins going around, all sorts of stuff. It seems pretty complex when you first look at it, but looking forward to it.
Of course, you know, we got the impending release of Grand Theft Auto.
Absolutely.
That's you know, a lot of people waiting for that, so it'll be
Small
interesting.
game.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Of course, there's tons more, but we also love your questions. Your interaction with the show is definitely one of our favorite parts. So don't forget, if you can, go ahead and send some questions here using the module on the page. And should we kick the show off?
I think so.
Excellent. So one of the things that people actually say a lot of the times is we don't have enough music on the show.
I think we have something to correct that this time around.
Have you seen this clip that we're about to roll?
I have.
It's actually kind of cool.
It is.
I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Korn, but they do the rockin' kind of crazy like music that goes good with first-person shooters and sticking people with knives and stuff.
You don't say.
Needless to say, let's go ahead and take a look at the Korn video that is been produced and made for Haze.
Rated M for mature.
This is a special song we wrote for a video game called Hades. Walking alone inside my world, thinking I'm doing the right thing, destroying all that appears before me. It was all done in vain. Wanna get through fire, wanna get through pain, wanna get with violence, wanna get with shame. Taking this place to call my own, raping my body without a face, tortured my soul is black as pitch, and I have no life to waste. Wanna get through fire, wanna get through pain, wanna get with violence, wanna get with shame. I worshiped you, do anything, so lost and helpless, I played your game. I worshiped you, do anything, so lost and helpless, I played your game. Wanna get through fire, wanna get through pain.
So there you go. There's a look at Korn's music video for Haze. Not sure if that's going to be included on the disc or anything, but I have to imagine they're going to go through all the trouble to make that cool video and release it. It's got to be on there in some kind of cool, awesome HD form. But speaking of cool and awesome in HD, we are joined by Chris Waters. Not that you were cool and awesome in HD, but you
I
were...
am HD, actually. Something I've been working on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can see you look a little sharp.
Thanks.
But you have brought by... Now, I'll admit, you guys were telling me about what this is.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
It's pretty great.
It's called Grid.
The game's called Grid.
Yeah.
It is a racing game, and it's sort of like got the heart of Forza with like a splash of Burnout sprinkled in there, and it looks real sharp. So let's check it out right now.
Excellent.
So you guys can see what's up. We're playing. This is a preview build. We're at the stage. We're building our career, and what we have here is 3 offers to race for different companies, different like racing outfits. So I'm going to start off with the San Francisco track.
Yeah.
And
I like San Francisco.
because it's, you'll see some buildings you recognize, and it
Are we going to
looks,
see the GameSpot building?
it looks quite nice. You know what? No, it stays sort of north of Market, up Nob Hill, and then down around the Embarcadero.
I gotcha.
So as you see here, we've got, this is developed by Codemasters, who also did Dirt recently, so you might recognize similarity in that loading screen, the way it displays your stats, and sort of all this big.
Very
business
slick
here.
looking.
Yep. And they've got an incredible amount of people in the crowd as well. You'll notice some of them are moving in the same motions, but it really, feels busy. So here we start off with the Bay Bridge. I'm gonna go with this view to start with.
Okay.
Just because getting yeah. All right.
What was that?
Check it out. So you can cycle through. You've got this view, and you can get right up and close. You can't really see anything. And then you got the in car, which, the game, you'll end up doing some crashing, doing some bumping, as I'm doing here, and you sort of get to this gnarly point in this view sometimes where your windshield's cracked, and so you almost want to crash again to bust it out. But yeah, so as you can see, looking really sharp, and definitely you got to be real light on the throttle, not just jamming it down or not on or off. You got to sort of be gentle. I spent most of the morning spinning out and crashing into barriers in spectacular fashion.
I definitely heard from people that are no strangers to picking up a controller and trying. Oh, whoa!
For example, crashing
You
into
broke through the
barriers.
track.
Now, here's a little feature they've got called the flashback.
All right.
So what I can do here is wind time backwards.
Oh, like Prince of
We can
Persia style?
Prince of Persia style, exactly. You'll see these tires hopping back into place. You'll see me coming all the way back here. And if you look in the bottom right corner, that number 4 represents how many times I can sort of jump back in the race. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to jump back to this spot in the race now, and I'll get another chance to take this curve more reasonably.
No, yeah,
So I'm
what-
gonna slow way down, and there, I've managed it. So that's a pretty cool feature. Flashback, it allows you to sort of check out the replay, but also saves your butt a little bit.
Now, I guess actually it's more akin to what we had with the. I'm drawing a blank. The Sega game. It was a racing game. You shot. It was early. Do you remember? It was like crashing, and you could rewind time and make it go back.
I'm totally blanking.
I'm totally
on that.
blanking. Anybody? Kevin? Anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Full auto. Thank you so much from
Full
the
auto,
dudes in the back.
boom. Nice.
But all right, so you're showing the San Francisco track. I
Yep.
see the game is no stranger to crashing it up.
Yep, and then, if I try to hammer on the throttle to get back on here, I'm just going to do a lot of
Can you
this.
we all know that rubbing is racing. So can you just like totally slam into those dudes and take them out?
You can definitely jostle,
Yeah.
and if I see, this is
Gotta
what
be
happened
easy
to me
on that.
most of the morning. Yep.
Cars that go that fast are hard to control sometimes.
That's a true story. And now you'll see I'm not touching the control direction, but I'm listening to the right.
Uh-huh.
That's because I effed up my car a little bit, and it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
You'll see down by the throttle. There's now that
There you go.
I've been working on that all morning for you guys. All right,
You're
I'm
gonna-
gonna switch to another mode, but they sort of have a live damage indicator, so you can see how your different wheels are doing, how your engine's doing, your radiator. There's a guy who'll be in your head, sort of rally car style, telling you, "Oh, you got to move up,"
Oh,
or
yeah.
"Oh, there's a big crash up ahead. Slow down."
No medium turn to the left or anything like that.
No, not that
right.
intense. So it's not
No-
quite that,
no
but
rally racing.
definitely like encouragement and occasionally a tip like, you're not moving. You can't win the race if you don't push down the accelerator.
Pro tips.
Not that I've heard that one.
So you're gonna. I saw the menu there. It looks like you're gonna show us a drift mode.
So you
is
got
that
a
right?
bunch. You got a bunch of straightforward racing modes with different type of cars. You also have a drifting mode, and the cars are totally tuned differently. If I tried to pull a drift with that sort of Mustang that I was racing before, no deal.
No deal.
But with this car that I'm going to have, it's tuned. I'm in Japan, which naturally increases my driftability by about 20%.
Just by region.
Yeah, just by being in that area. So I basically, and you don't actually race against anyone in this mode. You just have to score some good drifts.
Okay.
So you'll see as I start, I'll go up around this corner.
With as easy as tires were breaking when you were going through that race last time, it seems like drifting would be kind of easier, no?
You know, and that's the thing about this game is that the cars are tuned so specifically to, you know, what type of racing they're doing and what type of automobile it actually is. Now I'm just out of control. That, you know, it really, if were I to try to do any drifting like this with another car, it really wouldn't go down very well.
I'm going to check in with Kevin Van Orden and see if we got some questions from the audience, if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it.
Kevin, do you have anything from the folks at home, sir?
I have a surprisingly large number of questions about Grid.
All right.
Joey Maddox in Florida wants to know how deep the car customization is.
Car customization isn't something we really got to take a look at in this section because as you gain reputation points and you know money, you eventually will run your own racing outfit, and then you can purchase cars, and you know. I don't think it goes into super depth in terms of tuning the cars, but I can't be sure. That's what I got for you.
How long have you had this game, just so we know?
Since about 10 a.m. this morning.
All right, so you've done pretty good so far.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm managing to not crash spectacularly though. You'll see that I'm not getting that many drifts combos.
Yeah.
You'll see at the top of the screen will pop up a little drift logo. Let's see if I can do some business around these corners.
What else you got, Kevin?
A few users want to know if they don't like a game like Gran Turismo that's heavy on the realism. Do you think that they would like Grid?
You know what? There's going to be a pretty steep learning curve because there is definitely a lot of that finely tuned technical aspect that Gran Turismo does so well. Grid does it equally well. I mean, it's really impressive, and it's taken me a while to get a hang of. But odds are, if you're not into the Gran Turismo, Forza kind of racing, you're not going to be a big Grid fan from the start.
I'm going to ask for one more question, and while we get that question, can you go ahead and show us one more thing before you are out of here, sir?
Yes, let me show you. They have a little career preview, so we can get a glimpse of what the deeper career mode will offer.
Okay. Kevin, what do you got over there, sir?
I've also got a few users who want to know if there are motorcycles in the game.
No motorcycles.
No motorcycles.
I'll actually get a glimpse at the different classes of cars that are available in the game when we check out this career bit.
Career preview. So this version we're looking at is not the final one. This game is going to be out on what, June 3rd? Is that what you're saying?
June 3rd, yep. It's about 80% complete on June 3rd for the 360, PS3. They also have a DS and PC release listed, but I'm not sure if those are going to coincide or what. But basically here we've got, you know, for you race in Europe, you race in Japan, you race in America, you got GT, touring cars, Pro-tuned, BMW Challenge, muscle cars. Then in Japan you've got your drift battles. And you know, as you gain reputation, you can gain badges. You know, you'll see you have to advance through different levels, etc., etc. So it should be a pretty deep racing game for racing fans, and I mean, it just looks stunning.
Right on. Hey, it
Yeah.
does. It looks super fantastic. You're right. I see obviously not just the menus, but a little bit of the dirt influence in there, and so that's always welcome because that game looked awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for coming by, Chris.
It was my pleasure, Ryan.
Really appreciate it. June 3rd. Look for Xbox 360 only or PS3. As
PS3
well?
and Xbox 360 likely at the same time, and probably DS and PC around there sometime too.
Oh, that's crazy talk. All
Yeah.
right. Thanks a lot, Chris. Now we're going to go ahead and throw it across the studio to our good friend Kevin Van Orden, who is standing by with a guest and a very cool game. What do you got over there, Kevin?
I am standing here with Donnie Clay with Atari.
Hi there.
Donnie. And we are going to take a look at Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit, which unsurprisingly a lot of people are looking forward to playing.
It's a somewhat popular franchise, yes.
Absolutely. We're going to be taking a look at the game on the 360, but I believe there's also a PlayStation 3 version.
Yeah, there's a
on its
PS3
way?
version as well. They're both exactly the same, so the content's the same, the graphics, everything's the same. So
Absolutely. And we're going to be taking a look at a couple different modes today and a couple of different gameplay features, if I recall correctly. What's the first thing that you've got to show for us today?
well, one of the first things I wanted to show you, I know a lot of the fans are definitely curious as to what kind of characters we have in the game, so I figured I'd reveal a couple more characters for you
Absolutely.
guys today.
Like to see that.
Didn't think you'd have a problem with that.
Like to see that.
So what I've got set up is a fight between a character from the Frieza Saga and a character from the Cell Saga. The game goes from the Saiyan to the Cell Saga, so everybody's seen a few of the Saiyan characters, so I'm going to go with
Excellent.
a few of the new ones.
Take a look.
Sounds good. So as you can see here, this is Trunks and Raccoon. Trunks is from the Android Saga, and Raccoon is from the Frieza Saga. I've got them fighting on automatic. The CPU is fighting the CPU, so we can talk. I can't play and talk at the same time.
Understood.
And we can just check it out here. You can see the fighting is very fast, very frenetic, nice and pretty looking. You can see some teleports going on here, some key blasts. There's all kinds of counters. Looks like Trunks is going for a super move right now. Looks like it connected too. Ouch.
Absolutely. now the moves that we see in this game, are they going to be similar to the ones that we've seen previously in the series?
It's very similar to the Budokai series, as it's done by the same developers. Dimps actually developed this game, so it's kind of a return to a real 1-versus-1 fighting style of game.
And another super move coming out here.
Haha, but Raccoon blocked it, so you can see
Oops.
you can block them moves too. So. As you can see, the fighting system is pretty advanced in this one. There's plenty of side dodges, backflips, lots of unblockable moves, lots of super moves. You can fly up in the air. It's got everything that everybody's liked from previous games and kind of builds on that with this one. You can see one of the other things we've done differently from the Budokai series, which I really enjoy, is we've taken out the charging up of the key meter. If you can see down below, the key is actually charging up by itself, or the energy, whatever you'd like to call it. It's key in the DBZ world. So you don't have to actually focus on backing up and charging up your key. A lot of the fights in some of the earlier games was just backing up and charging up. So now you can really focus on the actual fighting of the game.
Now, if I were new to the series, or if I were new to fighting games, do you think this would be a good place to start?
Definitely. The nice thing about this game is the ease of how the controls are and the combos. It's really easy to just kind of pump out some good 10-hit combos. The super moves themselves are very easily executed with an up and an A, or a up and a circle, something to that effect. So beginning users can definitely make this game sing. The nice part, though, is not only is it accessible to new fighting game players, I think it'll be very fun for people that are actually really into the genre. The countering system, the teleportation system, all of those things are very advanced and very timing specific, which I think is real important for a fighting game. Timing specific. A lot of games you have to memorize, 10, 20 hit combos, and it becomes a memory game rather than a reflex game. We went for reflex on this one, so if you're fast and you know the controls, you're going to kick some butt.
Are we going to be seeing any in-game transformation?
Definitely. Actually, as you can see, Trunks actually just went Super Saiyan, so Raccoon's in trouble. He's definitely taking some damage on that one.
Nice.
So yeah, there are in-game transformations. Easy to do. It's just a simple button press of either the shoulder or the bumper button, depending on PS3 or 360, obviously. Yeah, definitely see some of those. Like I said, there's pretty much. I don't think there's anything we're missing in this one. We've definitely kicked it up a notch for Burst Limit.
Well, we've taken a look at this mode. Can we go ahead and switch back and take a look at story mode?
Sure, actually, that sounds like a good idea. Give me 1 second here. Just let this
Excellent.
reboot.
Excellent. In the meanwhile, while we wait, I'm sure Ryan's got some questions he wants to throw our way.
Sure.
Oh, I definitely do. I've got one right here from Jesse Dunn. He's out of Freeport. He wants to know, and this is actually a perfect segue to your story business. Will it follow the story? Will it follow a story that people know and love, or what's the story all about?
It follows from the beginning of DBZ, which is the Saiyan Saga, up into the end of the Cell Saga. So it doesn't go into any of the Buu Saga, which is the fourth saga in the series. It's just those three right there, so that's where it goes from.
Anything else, Ryan?
Oh, I got so many, dude.
I know there's going to be a lot.
Here's one simple one. Blade of Athens wants to know, they're from Toronto, how many special moves are there per character?
I think he's probably asking about ultimate moves, and there's 2 or 3 per character, so there's definitely a couple, and you unlock them as the game progresses, and they get cooler as you unlock them, obviously.
One more on
you while you get that loaded. RJ Polonia out of San Diego, California wants to know how the controls different for Budokai.
As I said, the key charging is different, so you don't have to worry about that. But the controls are fairly similar. You got a light attack, a heavy attack, a key blast button, and a guard button. And then you modify stuff with the shoulder buttons, things like that. So it's fairly similar to Budokai. So if you're familiar with the series, you shouldn't have any problem picking it right up.
Great. And we just got a little bit of time left, so I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at the story
Sure,
mode. Just
yeah.
waiting for that to load up here.
Here we go. Z Chronicle mode. The story mode's called the Z Chronicles. I'm starting up a new game here, so bear with me. So you can see you select, I don't have anything else unlocked right now, but you move around the screen. You can select the Chronicles. As you've unlocked them, you can go through them. As you'll see here, the graphics are so nice that we didn't have to do any rendering for the story mode. We actually used the in-game graphics for the story. So it goes seamlessly from gameplay to story and right back to gameplay. So it's a lot less loading time for people.
Great. Well, Donnie, thanks for coming by. Looks like we're going to have to kick things back to Ryan, actually.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks for coming by, and we look forward to having you back.
Appreciate it.
Really
Thanks for having
soon.
me.
Ryan!
Yes, sir. That's crazy. What are you guys doing?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm over here, and I am standing by with a little magic Naruto action. And this is something we actually wanted to show last week. It's kind of cool. The trailer looks super awesome. I've said enough. Check out the new latest from Naruto. Here's the trailer. There's a look at the Naruto action that's coming to the PlayStation 3. Those guys know how to make stuff look awesome. But next, we also have something that looks super awesome, and it's actually a ways still before it comes out, so we definitely appreciate our next guest for bringing it in and showing us an early build. And even though they say that it's definitely early and still got a ways to go, I can't wait to see it when it does get there because it's already looking really good. There's a little setup for you, and then as you'll see in a moment, we're going to throw up the mature warning because we're about to see some hands going through some people. But right now, I will introduce you to Eric Holmes. What's up, Eric?
How's it going?
How you doing? You are the lead game designer working on Prototype. Is that correct?
That's right.
And you're from Radical Entertainment. This is a game that, as we were talking before, I've actually been looking at ever since I saw the first announcement stuff, some of the first screenshots. It looks really awesome, and I was super excited to hear you guys are coming in today, so I'm glad that we'll get to show it off to the folks at home.
It's great to hear so much excitement about the game.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, no sweat. So just to give folks at home, we actually had you guys play the game earlier. It's still really early, right?
Yep.
You guys are pre-alpha, so basically we had you play it earlier and get sections of all the stuff that you wanted to show off, and that's what we'll be taking a look at right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at Prototype, which you're about to see. And as you see there, yeah, there's some blood in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Prototype now. So Eric, tell me what is the storyline behind Prototype? What is it we're seeing right here?
Well, what you're seeing right here is definitely a pre-alpha playable, so you're probably going to see bugs and glitches and all sorts of interesting things, but hopefully you'll see the promise in behind that. So the premise of the game is you're in a very realistic depiction of New York City. New York City where something very bad has happened. There's been a viral outbreak there. And at the center of it, you seem to be connected to it because you're a character with shape-shifting powers. What you can see him doing there is what we call a consume. He acquires the memories, the appearance, and the related DNA of anyone he consumes that way. And he has to kill them first, and then he takes on their biomass and he gains those attributes. So he can shapeshift for disguise, as you see here, and you can also shapeshift using the different powers he's acquired through the game to have amazing powers like kind of defense, attack, deception. So there's some interesting different dynamics in our game. We wanted a very dynamic character, the sort of thing that we thought we could only do in a next-gen system.
And there we see he pulls out the claws and does all kinds of business. So can you tell us who basically I saw two people that, depending on what was going on, you had trouble with. And there's obviously, you saw the tank in the street doing some business with the military, and then you also have the infected people themselves, right?
Sure. So we wanted a very realistic New York backdrop to this game, so that we have something that feels very grounded, very realistic, very easy to relate to in the world. So this is our Times Square location, and as you can see, it's pretty recognizable, that kind of iconic feel of Times Square. The two other factions in the game are the military, who you just saw kind of a quick patrol of there. They have APCs, they have helicopters, they have large numbers of Marines, and also special forces called the Black Watch in the game. And they move in New York as soon as the viral outbreak is kind of identified there, and secure the island and start working to try and clear out the infection before it takes hold. What you're seeing here is our crowd technology turned against the player because these people are all infected with the virus.
Now,
and they're under its control.
Now that was the first section of gameplay that we grabbed. There's some fun stuff that we're going to take a look at in a second. You've been working on this game for quite some time now, since 2005, I believe.
That's right. Yep.
And you guys have come a long ways. It's interesting because we were talking about it earlier. People like doing stuff in New York City. It's a fun city to throw stuff at and have all kinds of viral outbreaks, especially we see recently in movies and stuff. But this is something you guys started as an original storyline that you guys have built from the ground up.
That's right. This is all an original IP, and I guess we thought we were being super creative when we started with this in 2005, and I guess we have to be satisfied with being a little bit of a trend now because viral outbreaks seem to have entered the national consciousness. That's something we were kind of trying to play to at the time, but now it's actually turned up in a whole bunch of other media, movies, and even some other games. So,
well, here's some stuff that none of those things are doing right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next section of gameplay that we saw you play through and record for us earlier. What are we seeing here, Eric?
So what we wanted to get is a very dynamic version of New York City. We didn't want to get that kind of snapshot feel you get in some free roaming games where you start the game and the world that you see at the end of the game is exactly the same as the world at the end. So what we have is this outbreak actually takes place in real time across the city. And this here is what we call a hive. It's kind of like the equivalent of a gauntlet enemy generator, where it's going to spit out more and more infected people, infected creatures, more and more powerful kind of creations of the virus, and you can actually take it on. Now what we've done here is, when I was playing this, I actually brought a whole bunch of military guys in pursuit of me, and I have disguised myself here as one of the civilians. So they're actually going to be tricked into attacking that hive for me and doing my dirty work. So in real time they're going to actually take out that hive. It's going to remove a bunch of infected from the area, and we have this kind of what we call this three-way war between the infection, between the military and the player. All as three different players in this war. It can affect how you might play a mission. For example, if you have an objective here and the infected are making it really troublesome, you can come in and take out that hive and diminish their presence here, and also use the military to do that. Or take some infected guys over to a military base and have them gut it whilst you're performing some other objective you want to take on too. So we want a really kind of dynamic version of New York. And the three-way war is how we realize that.
I love this right here.
So all the military vehicles in the game, the tanks, the helicopters, the player can grab those, jack them, as long as he's got the associated skills he's acquired from pilots, from drivers, from crew, from gunners, and so he can use all the military's technology against them. And we don't just want him to snag those things at military bases. As you saw, you can jump in there and take it over in real time on the battlefield.
Oh yeah, I've been keeping half an eye while we're looking at the footage of some of the people in the chat room, what they're talking about. Hope33 picked it out right. He said it's, in some ways, it looks similar to the latest Hulk game that you had actually worked on, correct?
Yep, we shipped, our team previously shipped Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction in 2005. So we had a lot of dynamic action in there, but our city in there was very simple. We sold a whole city there and a whole military force with just 8 characters active at any one particular time. And as you can see there, we've got dozens of characters on screen at once, if not, up to over 100 with all the pedestrians, the amount of traffic in there. We really want to capture that sense of intensity you can have in New York City, and I think we're starting to pull it off.
Definitely. Let's take a look at a little bit more of the action that we got here of Prototype. Now, before we jump into this, what's happening here, sir?
So this is one of the military sensor suites they're using to actually track the virus. The player in this particular mission is taking them out. But in this example here, I've actually brought some hunters along with me. They're trying to kill me, but now they're also fighting the military who are defending the sensors. So we got kind of a little microcosm, I guess, of the game in the same way we had with the previous base there. So these are larger than human beings. These are mutations caused by the virus called hunters. And these are the first hunters that turn up in the game. We get a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and a lot meaner in the game as we progress through the story.
And I mean, I was watching you play through this earlier when you were getting this footage, and I mean, it is truly free roaming, open world. You were jumping off of pretty much every building, anything that you could see in that
Sure.
shot there, you could get to. Which is
That whole city you see there, you can go anywhere, anytime.
yeah. We got one more section of gameplay we're going to take a look at here of a prototype. This is coming out when, sir?
It'll be fall of this year.
Fall of this year. And I have to imagine, since working on it from 2005, you are eagerly looking forward to for putting the finishing touches on it, correct?
Well, definitely. It's a challenge with such a big game. We're really ambitious with this title, but we think there's a lot of new types of gameplay that we're realizing in here, and I guess what you're seeing is some of this stuff coming together here. This is a military base. Along the lines of the hive that you saw earlier, this is a military installation. So they've taken over a building, they've secured it, they have a fence around it, and they can deploy vehicles and troops from it. So like I said, all the vehicles you can use in the game, also all the firearms that the military have, you can grab them and use them too. So there's kind of whenever the military add new technology into the field, you get access to that same hardware too.
So what's the stuff that we aren't seeing right now that it is pre-alpha and you are not shipping until this fall? What is some of the stuff? There's some storyline stuff that we're not seeing, cutscenes and all
There's
that?
so much stuff we've not shown. One of the big things I really look forward to revealing is a thing called the Web of Intrigue, and that's where when Alex consumes someone, like I said earlier, he acquires their memories, and memories are really the source of this game because he's following up on the conspiracy, what seemed to maybe bring this virus to New York, what maybe let it go, and how he acquired his powers. So the player's realizing that not just through cutscenes, not just through going and talking to someone and getting some point where he puts the pad down and just watches what happens. We have hundreds of conspirators seeded through our world in New York City, people who know fragments of information about the conspiracy. And we realize that in what we call the Web of Intrigue, because when Alex consumes those people, he acquires those memories, and we actually experience those memories at full screen. We get an audio treatment, we get a little snippet of it, and Alex is hurt by these things. It's kind of funny. The memories in the game are really Alex's kryptonite, but they're also what he's on the trail of, because that following up on that stuff lets him find out where he came from and what the hell is going on in the city. So we have kind of an interesting dynamic there, but that's something that we're really excited to be showing later in the year. So keep an eye open for that.
Oh, definitely. And I can't thank you enough for bringing it by. I know it was really early. I know you guys didn't necessarily want to show it off just yet, but I think the fans at home appreciate seeing it early, and we'll look forward to seeing more of it.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Eric. And can't wait to hear more on that. Right now, we're going to go across the studio and take a look at one of the most interesting DS games that I've seen actually in a while. Kim Van Ord, who do you have over there, and what do you got?
I am here with my good friend Don Francis, our community manager, and he is going to show us The World Ends With You.
It's true.
On the DS. Yes, the world does end with us, and he is going to prove that on the Nintendo DS, Square's latest RPG offering.
Yeah, just right out of the gate, we gave this a 9.0, which is an editor's choice. The
Yes,
review
it
went
is.
back up this week, or went up for the first time as opposed to back up.
Let's go ahead and take a look at what's up on your screen, as
You
it
bet.
were, and tell us a little bit about the setting where this game is taking place.
Okay, so this takes place in a district in Tokyo called Shibuya, which is the shopping and fashion and trendy district. And this is the Crossing, just below the 104 building, which is a prominent shopping center within Shibuya.
And our character is special because
He can scan people, and, well, it's not a spoiler to say, he's dead.
Are you sure now?
Positive.
All right. So we're controlling a dead character.
We're controlling a dead guy who can scan people.
Okay, so you're scanning now, and
Right.
what's this going to do for us?
So basically, I can choose to select any of these dialogue bubbles, the blue ones, and it'll bring up what those people are thinking. Or I can select any of the red, and those are noise. And I just chain 3 of those together, so I have to fight 3 posses back to back to back here, using only the touch screen and my wits. So I have some pins that I've collected over the course of my adventures, and so I'm controlling the bottom screen with my stylus, and I'm controlling the top screen with the D-pad. Or if you're left or right-handed and prefer to use the X, A, B, Y buttons, you can do that.
Don, that sounds insane.
That's 'cause
How-
it is.
Is that difficult, or is it you get used to it over time?
You get used to it over time. It takes some getting used to, obviously, but basically I spam either left or right on the D-pad, and then I do all my gesticulations with the stylus. On
I
the
like it
bottom.
when you say that word, Don.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned pins earlier. What are pins?
The pins are those 6 circles at the top of the screen. So those control the different powers that I have available to me. So in this instance, I can move in and do a circular strike, or I can slash across Neku and do a charge. And then I also have some ranged attacks. And then I can hold the stylus on him, and I erect a defensive barrier. And then it will also heal my life gauge as long as I keep it in place.
Excellent. Ryan, does anybody in the audience have a question for Don?
Dude, there's all kinds of questions.
Excellent. I knew they would. In the meanwhile, can you say gesticulation one more time?
Gesticulation.
Excellent.
The
Wait for a question.
one of the questions I have here from Gregory Smith out of Ontario wants to know: is this a weird DS game? Is it hard to understand? Am I getting it? I know what's going on.
If you can understand any other Final Fantasy game, you won't have a problem with The World Ends With You. It's pretty standard, fair, square storyline. You have your spiky-haired protagonist. You have some angsty teenage emotions between different characters. And then you get to go SHOPPING in the big city, which is awesome. And
Don, what does that spell?
Shopping.
Thank you.
Sorry. A little Pet Shop Boys
I feel much
reference.
better.
Sorry. So you can go into the stores and you can buy stuff like cowboy boots in red or in knee-high. You can buy purple bikinis for your female counterpart. Or if you accumulate enough bravery, you could go around town wearing a purple bikini.
Excellent. Ryan, any more questions from our audience?
I've got one quick one, and then I got a real one. Abel Goboa out of Pakamola. I'm sorry, I don't think I said that right at all. I just bought The World Ends With You and had no idea he was dead. Is that possible?
If he hasn't made it through the first 3 chapters, first 3 chapters as in the first 30 minutes, out of like a 3 to 5 hour game.
Yeah, it's about a 3 to 5 hour game. Yeah, that was one of the other questions, was how long the story was.
I've
the
played.
entire game is 3 to 5 hours?
You can do it in 3 to 5 hours if you're just going lickety split. I did it. I took my time in about 20 hours.
Yeah.
And I have accumulated, for the most part, let's see. I have 83% of the items, 78% of the noise I've detected. You know, the stats are at the top. And then it shows you who your companion is here on the save screen, what they're wearing. You see I have Shiki, my companion, dressed up in a Mrs. Santa outfit. Very nice.
And this game's out already?
Out
Released
already.
earlier this week?
Yes. It is
Excellent.
awesome.
Well, Don, thanks for coming by, showing us The World Ends With You, because the world does indeed end with us. And we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks.
All right, Ryan, we're going to head over to you now.
That's right, sir. We got GS World as a thing that we kind of premiered last week. Showed a little bit of the stuff that was happening out of the UK, the crazy Guinness Book of World Records with the cosplayers out there, which was super fun. This week we're going to give you a little bit of something extra. This is, I won't set it up too much, but it's all about Haze and some wrestling in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at GS World.
Hi! Welcome to London. London is a town in England that was founded in anticipation of the success of American Werewolf in London in the mid-80s. I'm here with Luke from GameSpot, who's planning to interview me. Let's hope he's not boring. Luke!
Thanks for that, Rob.
Hi!
So, Haze, what's it all about?
All right, the bottom line is, there's a war going on. Listen to me. Stay with me here. It's a war in the future. It's evil rebels who are trying to overthrow the government. Thankfully, a private military corporation called Mantle Global Industries is going to send its boys down to take care of business. I'm going to sit like the fonts, yeah. Now, Mantle is a media-savvy company. They don't want the bad press of their soldiers getting killed or hurt. So you know what they do, Luke? Let me tell you. I'm glad you asked me that question.
What's that? What do they do?
They provide them with a miracle nutritional supplement called Nectar. Now, what Nectar does is it makes them tougher and smarter and faster and all the things you'll expect. But the twist is this, Luke. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
If you take enough Nectar in Haze, you'll fight well. But if you take too much Nectar, Luke, you'll overdose and you go crazy and start killing all your friends. It's off the hook.
Don't you hate that?
Tell me about it. But that's more. There's more. There's more. Okay, stay with me here. The real twist in Haze is that halfway through, you have a change of heart and you end up fighting for the rebels. You're a goddamn turncoat, Luke. When you become a rebel, you learn a bunch of new skills. For instance,
Mad skills?
mad skills that pay the bills, brother. When you become a rebel, you learn things like how to play dead, for instance, which is, let me just backtrack a minute. When you're a mantle trooper, your perception of reality, because of Nectar, is censored. You can't see bodies, you can't see blood, and you can't hear screaming. When people die, they fade away like you've seen a million times happen in a video game. They disappear. So, when you're a rebel, you can lie down and pretend to be dead, and from the mantle point of view, you will disappear like a body in a video game. How about
Been
that?
censored. Don't you hate that?
You want to chest me? I'm excited about it. Come on.
Okay.
There's more. You can disarm people, get up close to them, sock them in the face, pull the gun out of their hands, even the odds. Also, you can scavenge ammunition from other weapons. You can recalibrate ammunition from other guns to fit your gun of choice. So look, you look like a man who likes a minigun. Am I right?
More of a shotgun man.
Well, okay, let's say you like a shotgun. If you run out of bullets, what are you going to do? You're going to throw it away? No! In Haze, you can recalibrate ammo to fit your weapon of choice. You choose how you want to play the game. I'm not going to tell you how, Luke. I want you to do it.
Sounds good.
There's more. Also, when you become a rebel, you haven't got all that heavy mantle armor, so you got to, once that's all stripped off, you can dive and roll and jump between rooftops, whatever you got to do to avoid being hit in order to survive. Are you still with me, Luke?
I am. So what's this about, like, ODing the troops on Nectar?
Right. There's more, there's more. You can lay traps, you can rig grenades like mines, hide them under the dirt, someone steps on them, boom, up they go.
There's, I think there's 4 Nectar abilities, right, in the game. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, sir. When you're on Nectar, apart from it making you able to dish out more damage, take more damage, and move quicker, it gives you 4 abilities that will improve your first-person playing skills. Because what you do in a first-person game is you look at an enemy, aim at an enemy, shoot an enemy, or melee an enemy. That's basically what your experience is. So we tried to develop skills that weren't just kind of random power-ups. These are things that would actually improve your ability to play the game, so it could translate into multiplayer as well. So, Nectar Perception is the first skill. This kind of picks the guys out in that kind of orange glow, so if they're hiding in the dark or in camouflage, you can see them nice and easy. Nectar Focus is a sniping aid. When you're zoomed in, it'll help tweak your aim for the perfect headshot from a mile out. Also, Nectar Foresight. This is like a 6th sense. So if a grenade's going to go off or someone's going to melee you from behind, you'll see this pulse effect warning you that's going to happen before it happens, so you can get out of the way. The 4th and final Nectar ability is what's called the Melee Blast. Now this, Luke, is a punch. It is so powerful, it's like a million dragon punches. You heard it here first. That's Nectar.
Yeah, so Haze is out 28th of May.
End of May.
End of May.
Is this it? Is this the end of our...
This is the end of our banter, I think. Unless, I don't know, you want to take the camera downstairs?
Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to do some downstairs?
What do you reckon?
Do you wrestle?
Sometimes, from time to time. Okay.
Luke, ask me why we're doing this.
Why on earth?
There's no reason, Luke.
Tell me.
Come on, let's just do it. He's got me a bit. One of us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you fart on a journalist. This feels vaguely homoerotic, is that?
Oh, it's like Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah. I'm not sure we should have done this on camera.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll cut the camera from
This is me and Luke signing out from GameSpot.
So there's a look at Rob, actually, from the team on Haze, talking about Haze. That was, yeah, I saw the chat room. Some of you guys called it out. He was the same gentleman from the Penny Arcade Expo where we had all kinds of fun with him there, too. So that dude's a character. But yeah, right now we're going to throw it across the studio and see some commando action with Ricardo Torres. What do you guys got?
Hey, I'm standing here with Ricardo Torres, and we are taking a look
at the
Commando
longest
3.
Commando name we've seen ever. Commando 3 Wolf of the Battlefield.
Excellent.
Before I hop into it, I just want to show you guys the menu, and here's another big selling point for it. See, anybody that picks it up will be able to get the Remix Beta, which is kind of a key thing, because that will be starting up this summer, and we'll give people a chance to do Street Fighter like they've never done it before. So here we are. You can hop into the game, do one player, and these are the characters you've got to choose from. You've got Wolf, you've got Coyote, and you've got Fox. Everybody's rated on different things. In honor of Frank, I'm going to pick Coyote because he looks the most like Rambo.
Excellent. We've got a few different locales, it looks like, to choose from.
Well, when you started at the beach and you kind of have to do your
Work your
thing.
way up.
Yep, absolutely. So this is me. Game's got like a really kind of goofy art style that's kind of cartoony.
A little bit of a Team Fortress 2 feel to it.
Oh,
looks like.
totally. And I mean, this is pretty much it. You throw grenades and you kill people, just like the old school one.
Killing people is an excellent mechanic in any game.
Ouch! And you see, I almost swore when I got shot.
Now, is there a co-op in this? Game?
Totally. There's a 2-player co-op, and some turrets, not the one I just blew up, but some turrets you can take over. There's vehicles. You can destroy trees.
If that will be both local and online, or just one or the other?
I believe it is both.
Excellent.
And yeah, this is it's a lot of fun. It's also really easy to control. At this point, it's now the standard setup where you use the right analog stick to shoot and the left analog stick to move. And your grenades are just holding down the left trigger and giving them a toss.
And how's the learning curve? Most games like this can get pretty tough after you play for a while. How's it seem here?
You know, it's pretty much what you see. The key thing is just going to be, okay, where you can take over turrets. The key thing here is avoiding the enemy bullets, which don't travel so fast that you can't. But you do have to be very conscious of stuff, otherwise you get killed.
What are some of the power-ups you're coming across?
You can power up your weapon with, kind of like flames and the usual fun stuff. What I just picked up was a grenade. Grenades are sort of key because they do area damage and they're great for taking out mobs of enemies.
Hey Ryan, does anybody have any questions about
I've got one from Farhad Balach out of Cypress, Texas. You want to know, what are the multiplayer modes, if there are any?
Co-op.
Is that online co-op? Is that just same console co-op?
Pretty sure it's online co-op. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just online co-op. Here's a power-up right here.
Any other questions, Ryan?
They just want to confirm how many players. RJ wants to know how many players. Is it 2? Is it 3? All at the same time?
It should be 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. And when should we look for this to be released on
This
Xbox Arcade, right?
is going to be in the next couple of weeks. I would assume in like the May-June timeframe, probably May. But they don't really announce that just yet because they got to make sure that it's all done and buttoned up. But as you can see, it is all kinds of blowing up fun. And I'm getting modifiers because I haven't been shot, so that improves your score.
And the full name of the game again?
Oh God,
because I can't remember already.
It is Commandos 3: Wolf of the Battlefield.
There you go, Wolf of the Battlefield.
It is also,
thanks, Ricardo.
more importantly known as the game that is coming with a Street Fighter HD beta.
Don't forget. All right, thanks for coming by, Ricardo.
No problem.
And I'm going to toss it back over to Ryan McDonald.
Thank you, guys. I am now joined by our good friend Sean McGinnis. Hey, what's up, Sean?
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing super good. Especially since you brought by. I love fighting games. I like fighting games. Fighting games are cool. Oh, this is obviously not a fighting game.
This one is unexpectedly not a fighting game.
Especially since it is actually Guilty Gear 2.
It's Guilty Gear 2,
How is a
yeah.
Guilty Gear 2 game not a fighting game? This is actually Guilty Gear 2 Overture.
Yeah, it is. Basically, yeah, everybody, when they hear Guilty Gear, they expect a 2D fighting game, but this sort of takes that formula and says to hell with it.
Yeah.
And turns it to sort of a third-person action game, a lot like Devil May Cry. And it's got quite a lot of real-time strategy elements as well, sort of like your standard Command and Conquer games.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the Guilty Gear series up to this point has largely been 2D and awesome big sprites, right?
Yeah, 2D visuals, total old school sprites and what have you. This game still has a lot of that style. You get like these super crazy gothic characters.
Yeah.
And
does the screen explode with just amazing amounts of stuff that happens when certain moves and stuff happen?
Yeah, once the action really gets going, you're totally going to have an epileptic seizure.
Can we see that now?
Can you see that now?
Yeah, can you
if
bust
I had
them
an
off?
enemy to fight right
Alright.
here, like this guy, I can totally bust a move on
There
this
you
guy
go.
right here. And I can do like sort of these power-up moves, and it gets totally crazy if I was a bit more powered up. But yeah, the style is still there. You still got these gothic guys. You've got the heavy metal music, which is a trademark of the Guilty Gear games.
Right.
So it feels like a Guilty Gear game as far as the presentation goes, but the way it plays out is very different.
Now, what's the story behind this? I mean, does Guilty Gear fans now have this crazy big storyline to go along with all their business? Or, I mean, not that they didn't have stuff before, but...
The funny thing about this game is that it picks up on the story where the original Guilty Gear game left off, which was way back in the days of the original PlayStation. And so all the Guilty Gear X, Guilty Gear XX, those are sort of side stories, and it doesn't really pick up on those ones. So this goes way back to the beginning.
How's that story told? Through cutscenes, through voiceover?
Yeah, it's told through cutscenes. There's dialogue that plays out during the battles and what have you. And so yeah, there's a lot of different ways it plays out.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and check in with the Guilty Gear fans of the world out there. Kevin Van Or, do we have any questions, sir?
Looks like a couple people want to know how multiplayer is going to work in this.
In multiplayer, you've got 2 to 4 players. You can play teams of 2, or you can play every man for himself. And basically, the way this game works, I'll give you a quick description. Okay. It's sort of a territories mode where you've got all these capture points on the map. You can see those little blue icons. That means that I'm losing horribly right now because I'm the red team. And yeah, once you capture those, you can summon servants, which are basically like little troops that you go and you have do your bidding and capture even more capture points. And yeah, and then those 2 meters at the top, the red and blue meters, those are the health gauges for your main base. And once that totally drains, that means you're screwed and you're dead.
Well, that sounds not so great.
Yeah.
Master Ghost Tag. All right, I think we're about out of time here. I guess the only question is just when's this game coming out? You're playing on the Xbox 360 right now. Is that exclusive to that system?
Yeah, it's coming. It's already out in Japan. It came out last year, and they're totally rebalancing it for North America, making it a bit easier and adding some new features as well. And I believe it's scheduled to come out in September for 360.
Oh, excellent. Always a pleasure, Sean.
My pleasure.
Really
as well.
appreciate it. Right now, we're going to be taking a look at a special feature. Last time we did this, we had this cool Rainbow Six Vegas 2 cheat that allowed you to do some business, get some experience points, and not have to play the game a whole bunch. But right now we actually have another one that'll teach you and do all kinds of stuff for NBA ballers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the exploit of the moment.
Now it's time for the Gillette Game Room Exploit of the Moment.
Today we'll show you how to easily get through almost any challenge in the newly released NBA Ballers Chosen One. Whether it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or 1-on-1-on-1, the key here is to act a fool. The exploit involves getting possession of the ball, standing near the top of the key, and activating the Act a Fool minigame. Follow the on-screen prompts, and when the minigame is over, quickly drive to the hoop and score an easy 5 points. Try for a dunk, but even if you miss your shot, you've still filled some of your meter, so you can always get the ball and try again. Performing Act a Fool combos is an easy and reliable way to quickly score points, and it's also a great way to race through some of the harder challenges. Once you've filled your meter to level 3, stand at the circle between the free throw line and the 3-point line to activate a super dunk, which will result in an automatic game over for your opponent. So just remember, when in doubt, act a fool.
And then we are back. So that was a look at some NBA baller action. You do that, and yeah, totally make it so you get points easy.
I don't even need to play the game to act a fool.
No. I'll admit, like, you know, I'll be honest, I'm not a big like NBA ballers fan or anything like that. But I will say the Larry Bird model in there is rad.
Yeah, most of the models look actually really insane in there.
Oh yeah.
Like the way they move, good stuff.
Totally. So Kevin Van Or, I think that was a pretty solid show.
Absolutely. You know, I'm a Dragon Ball Z newbie.
Yeah.
And now I really want to play that game.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a beautiful game, and it makes me wish that I had more HD channels that showed cartoons, because cartoons apparently are the most awesome thing in HD. But enough from us. I was actually going to give you guys the heads up on who had won the books. We forgot to mention it last week. I was trying to dig through my email real quick and see who those 2 names were. The books are in the mail. You may have actually received them already, but I did want to know because I could see that there were some people asking about that. So if you want to look at the GameSpot Live Union, I'll actually, or you know, in that area, I'll definitely have Jody Robinson make sure in the community she puts those names out there. Until next week, though, Kevin Van Or.
Ryan, thanks so much.
Oh yeah, totally. And big news coming up though, GTA, the Brain Bust, the Crazy Trivia Show. That'll be next week. And then we also have, following that, this Crazy Guitar Hero 3 thing where people will be playing guitars and answering questions at the same time.
Oh yeah, and the great thing about Brain Bust is former Brain Bust winner Don Francis is going to be hosting Brain
Turn
Rust.
host.
Absolutely.
Totally. Awesome. Thanks again, Kevin. Thanks to the
you.
crew, everybody here. Folks at home, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Take it easy.
Sign off.
I think so. Yeah, you want to say goodbye to the folks at home?
Is this live?
This is straight up live right
No way! What happens if I swear?
They will hear it.
What's can I use swearing? It's the internet. There's no.
Pretty much, yeah. It's totally awesome. And like this PAX thing is so crazy anyways. It's like,
Can I say like shit cock?
that'd probably be bad, but
Yeah, shit cock, Ryan. Yeah.
I think this woman behind you is gonna kill me, by the way.
I'm really sorry I said shit cock. I'm really sorry.
Do you have any of this cool Haze t-shirt?
It smell. What?
I think that's it from Seattle. I'll take it back, totally.
Cheers, Ryan.
I think, all right, excellent.
Bye, Hayes. You won't be disappointed. On
Right
my
on.
mother's honor.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much. Seriously. All right, man, you take it easy. All right, totally. Come back. We're getting the wrap-up sign, as you might imagine. And so we're going to say that's all from Seattle today. You're going to get better situated for the show tomorrow. There's going to be a 2-hour business tomorrow. We're going to get better situated.